legends where magic meets the heart. Commander's Pod, where the stories unfold, with heroes and villains new and old. Dungeon Dragons Roll, got the word. In the world of EVA we play.
Hello, everyone. Welcome again to Commander's Pod. I am your pod father, Duncan.
I'm Sloan.
We are Jeffless once again. He has family vacation. Good
Yep.
for him. So we got some stuff to talk about today. Today we're going to talk about our top most hated cards in EDH.
Yeah.
The ones we don't want to see.
Right.
Not saying to ban them exactly, but just saying we don't like them.
Correct. Yeah. I got there's one that when we talked about this, we both had basically at the top of our list. And I think most people will agree, and I have some strong points of why.
Yep. It gives me a warm, fuzzy hate feeling in my tummy. So, but anyway, we also have a Tales from the Table. That doesn't do what you think it does.
Yep.
Got any tips today?
We got some tips.
Got some tips. All right. So let's get into it. So Tales from the Table. Mm-hmm. So I got to play my Deadpool deck a little more.
Yeah.
And I was playing against Andrew and Bryce.
Mm-hmm.
And so couple things. So I have in there the Master Multiplied. The Master
Right.
Multiplied is in there because it says the legendary rule doesn't apply to permanents you control.
Correct.
And you don't have to sacrifice your tokens at the end of the end step.
Right.
So if things say that, you don't have to. So I tried to cast that when I had Deadpool out. So the first thing I should say is, so I cast Deadpool, stole Xanathar, his text box.
Right.
Bryce was playing Gonti, and he has Xanathar in the deck. So stole Xanathar's text box.
Right.
And then Bryce cast a spell where I believe it blinked Xanathar, so he got to save it.
Right.
He got it to come back without the traded text box.
Right.
So I had in my hand Deadly Rollick. And I thought, it says exile target creature. It doesn't say whose creature.
Right.
As long as you control your commander, it's free. So while it was still his turn, I exiled my commander for free.
Right.
And then the next turn cast him again to take Xanathar's text box again. So that was fun. But then I tried to cast a Master Multiplied on a
Right.
future turn. And Andrew had no answers. And I thought, yes, because Andrew's the counter guy. You know, he counters everything I do.
Yeah, he's got answers.
Yeah. Bryce has a few, but he usually doesn't have quite as many as Andrew.
Right.
Well, Bryce had one, so he countered it.
Oh.
Went to the graveyard. But I'm trying to remember what card it was Andrew played. But he played something where he got it out of my graveyard. He got the Master Multiplied.
That's not great.
That's not great. Except that on my turn, I played, I believe it's called Rada Fire Dancer or something like that. But it says at the beginning of your combat on your turn, create X copies of target creature you control, where X is 1 plus the number of instants and sorceries you've cast this turn.
Right.
So I had cast one earlier on. I think it was a draw spell.
Right.
And that's what got me Rada, and I played Rada. And I had a few mana left, and I'm like, what can I do? What can I do? And I played another instant card that was going to remove something of Andrew's. I didn't care if it went off. I just wanted the
The
count.
instant to get the count.
And Andrew, I think, countered it, or he avoided it somehow, whatever.
Right.
So then I went to combat. Well, now I'm getting 3 copies of Deadpool. It's a cheeky little trick. I picked the Master Multiplied.
Right.
Oh, he was playing, what's his name? Gallus Calgar, who every time one or more tokens come into control on your turn, you draw, or when they come into your play, you draw a card.
Right. Yeah.
So I copied that, and I copied something of Bryce. Because I copied the Master Multiplied, the legend roll doesn't apply to those tokens I just made.
Sack them, yeah.
I don't have to sack them. And she says sack them at the end of the turn, and I don't have to sack them.
Right.
So that was pretty cool.
That's
That was fun.
That's a gross play for
That
sure.
was a gross play. I still didn't win. I just became arch enemy and they killed me. But
Yeah.
but it was still a cheeky little play that was pretty cool. A cool interaction. I was like, and Andrew, as we've shown before, knows the rules very well. Bryce also knows the rules almost as well. Andrew, though, was at one time a judge. So when I did it, I'm like, this works the way I think it does, right? He goes, wait, what? Oh, yeah, it does. You know,
Yeah,
he's
as long as you copy the master guy first.
well, they all come in at the same time.
Right.
So they see each other. It didn't matter which one I picked first, but that was the key that let it all happen. And because at first he didn't see it. At first I picked my target. He's like, okay, so now we have your text box. I go, yeah, but I get to keep my stuff, right? He goes, wait, what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, he reads the master multiply. He goes, oh, yeah, you do. So
Yeah.
that was fun. That was really cool. That's something I hadn't thought of before, but it's a pretty
Right.
cool trick. So that doesn't do what you think it does. This is something I just learned, and so my buddy Lizard did this. He was playing the Red God Ogre Axel.
Yeah, the mono red one. It deals 4.
Yeah, your red permanents deal 4 if they would deal less than that.
Less
When
than
they deal-
his power.
Right. It's whatever his power is,
Right.
which is naturally 4. Whenever they deal non-combat damage.
Correct.
And I killed him, and he put it back in the command zone. I go, wait, no, it flips to the other side. He goes, no, you can choose to put it in your command zone.
Right.
He goes, it does do that, but then you can choose. I go, that doesn't make sense. But in reading the card, that is how it works, because the way it says is when this creature dies, it returns as the flip side tapped.
Right, which means it has to hit
land
the
type.
graveyard.
Right, it has to hit the graveyard. Even though you can't interrupt its ability because it's continuous, and when that happens, it comes back. Because it did go to the graveyard,
Right.
your trigger happens where you get to choose to put it in your command zone instead.
Correct.
So, the gods that flip into the lands, which are the Ogre gods, if they do die, you do not have to turn them into a land. You can return them to the command zone.
Yeah. Now, the one thing about those gods, which is why a lot of people don't care if they turn into land, is you can flip them back.
Right.
You can. I think you have to do
but you
something.
can't that turn, and his thing was he could have
Right.
brought him back out that turn.
Right.
So I thought I was getting rid of him. For a
Really,
turn.
you just had him. You just cast him again and
Yeah.
pass turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool. I didn't know that. I thought there's probably a lot of other people that didn't know that because that actually caught Andrew by surprise. He goes, wait, because if you don't read the card, you don't understand why that would work.
Right. Yeah. It's specifically if it said, when this creature would die, instead flip
Yes,
it over.
Then you couldn't.
You couldn't because it's not dying. It says if this creature dies, which means it has to hit the graveyard, which then means the commander rule comes into effect.
Right.
Which is why. So, that is a little bit of a niche one. So anyone playing flip gods out there, now you have that.
Well, I mean, they're pretty good. I mean, all of
They
those
they
gods
are very good. Actually, that is the one they had at the shop, and I was gonna buy it the last weekend they were open before they moved, and I didn't. And now I'm sad because I was going to buy it for my Prosper deck, and I got to play Prosper this weekend, and I didn't have it. I was like, man, if I would have had
Well,
Prosper.
look at it this way.
And
You're
the-
going there Saturday. On the
I am
grand
going there
reopening,
Saturday. I am.
and probably they'll still have the same stock.
Yeah, hopefully, unless someone snuck it out from underneath because he went down a little bit. He's sub $10 now because originally he
that's
was
good.
he was a lot more. That's why I never got him. But I saw he was under $10, and I was like, ooh, I might have to get him for my Prosper because he'd be gross in Prosper.
Yep.
I would have won the game on Saturday if I had him.
Those flip gods were very good.
They did a good job with them.
Yep.
So
So let's move into the top 10 cards we hate, or we'll see if we come up with 10. Our top cards we hate.
yeah, I mean, so this is something that thinking about it, I was like, oh man, there's so many cards. But then I was like, well, it's not that I hate them because I think they're annoying. A lot of them is I hate them because they're so bad. It's like, this is such an awful card. I wish they would fix it. I know a lot of people are going to say Chaos Warp is not on my list. And again, the reason why is I don't hate it because I think it's an annoying card. It's like, oh, I hate it because it's a bad card.
Right.
My definition of hate is when this comes into play, I genuinely get upset because it's like, this is such a stupid card, not because it's bad, but because its abilities are stupid and they don't make sense.
Okay, so the one that we share the most hatred for,
Oh, hands
we will
down.
save that for the end.
Yeah, well, okay, we'll save that one for the end because that one is. I mean, if that's not everyone's top 3, then you must be the person that just thinks everything's fine.
Yeah, or you're the guy that plays that all the time.
And yeah,
If you
don't
don't
know
agree with
why.
this, you probably play the card. But
Yeah.
anyway, so let's go with the first one I have, Drannith Magistrate. Yeah. So a lot of these fall into this category, but this is one I hate it when other people play it.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, the big thing with this one that is rough, Draenei Magistrate, it's because of the fact of the wording on it is so specific, and I think too, it was something that kind of accidentally became really powerful.
Yeah.
Like they made it not realizing what they made, thinking, oh, we're just going to turn off people who cast things from like the graveyard or blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no. You just shut off commanders, period. Yeah. If there are people rely on their command, unless you have one of those amazing utility lands we talked about last week, Command Beacon, or something similar to it to get your commander into your hand from your command zone. Yeah, I mean, this is one, I feel like this was unintentionally made.
Oh, no, I think it was very intentional.
Well, unintentionally made a lot worse than they intended it to be.
I think they deliberately did this.
mean,
in standard and modern, not a big deal.
But again, you have to think when they made this card and when it was standard and modern legal, this was a mechanic that was being utilized.
Well, it's still
a lot.
modern legal. Oh, is it banned in modern? I'm not sure.
I don't
play it,
I'm
so
not. Yeah, I don't know either.
But it's in the time frame it would be legal.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this is one of those ones where I think it just, when people realized what it could do, it kind of became a white staple.
Yeah.
Where it's like if you're playing high level commander, like you play this card. You keep people,
because what it should say is your opponents can't play their commander.
Yeah, pretty much. That's basically what it does.
Yeah.
It's gross. Now again, for our friend Bryce, I'll shout him out here. This shuts down Gonti in 2 ways. This shuts down Gonti from being able to cast them, and then using his ability.
Why he would like it? It also shuts down Prosper.
It does, yeah. This would kill Prosper because everything I do is casting from exile. That's the whole point of that deck.
So it's got a lot of reasons to dislike this card.
Yeah, I mean, and just to name a couple other too, Kellen the Kid, which is a newer one that came out in Thunder Junction, shuts him off because his whole thing is you want to plot and cast things from your everywhere but your hand.
Shuts off Xanathar.
Xanathar. I mean,
it doesn't shut off the part where Xanathar says that player can't cast spells, but
you can't cast. Yeah, you can't cast any of their stuff, so it shuts off that like half of his ability. So it does hit a lot of, even if the commander's out, it still hits a lot of their abilities, especially, again, we kind of talked about
Muldrotha.
Yeah, a lot of more recent commanders with like the stealing mechanic. The way they steal is they cast stuff off the top of your library. So this hits a lot of people, and it's getting stronger, it seems like, as the sets are coming out.
Yeah, it's there's more things it's catching in its net.
Right.
But yeah, that's why that's on my list. I play it because it's good, because it shuts off so many people.
It is good.
I mean, I would never play it in a deck where I wanted to do those things. But,
right. Yeah, and again, it's one of those things too where I feel like this is a card where.
Well, it does your opponents, so I guess I might. Still.
I mean, and the other thing is too, this is a card that I feel like, even if you try to negotiate with me that your deck's a 2 and this card's in there, I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like, this is kind of like a really a-hole move.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's a game changer.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is. So it's like, technically, yeah, I could put it in a 2 or 1 if I really wanted to, but it's like, man, that's...
But this card, I hate it.
Blood boiler for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, get your blood pressure medication out for when you see this one. So that's a good one.
Yep. What's your next one?
So I'm going to drop Dragon Lord Dromoka.
I get that one. I know why you
The reason why I hate this card, it's not because it says your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Don't mind that part as much. There's Grand Arbiter does the same thing. No, Grand Abolisher, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, Grand Abolisher does the same thing. Actually, Grand Abolisher is worse. But the reason why I dislike this one so much more, it cannot be countered.
Right.
It is a 5/7 flying lifelink that cannot be countered. That is silly. Like, if you want to have it have the other ability, just like Grand Abolisher, let it be counterable. Let it be able to be stopped if someone has an answer. The fact that it's just, nope, can't counter it, and then you can't cast spells, a lot of the time, most of the answers for this, even in Duncan's nothing can be countered deck, a lot of his answers are bounce it back to your hand. He can't do that because he has to cast that spell, which he can no longer do because this can't be countered. Like, I just don't like the fact that
Your only chance then is Odawara or Boseiju.
Or technically, you can activate abilities
Right. So
that
if
are
you
in
happen
play.
to have something.
So, for example, there is a card. They've made a couple of them now. Intrepid Hero. It's a white creature. It taps destroy target creature with power 4 or greater.
Right.
Like that would do it.
I mean, there's also
But-
what's the one? Crystal Chime or something like that.
Yeah.
Tap it, return a creature
Right.
to its owner's hand.
How many of you run those cards? Like no one.
That's why those cards are so good.
Right. So I just don't like the fact that it's uncounterable and then it doesn't let you cast
But so
spells.
the uncounterable part, however, is the reason that I play Urtai's Meddling, Gale's Redirection,
Right.
Unsubstantiate, all those cards that
Yeah.
aren't counters exactly, but they counter.
Yeah, Venser
and the
Shapeshifter is
tur-
technically another one that would do it because
End of turn. That's another one that this weekend I got great use out of end of turn.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite. It costs a lot of mana, but when you exile the spell and end their turn,
Yeah.
now they can't recast it. It doesn't go to their graveyard or recursion, that type of stuff. So yeah, that's why I play it. But yeah, if I'm not playing my Lear Disciple of the Drowned who says spells can't be countered, and all my spells in there are things that are not counters, I might have 2 or 3 in my blue decks, but if I don't have it in hand, oh well.
Right, because the problem is, and a lot of people are like, well, what's the problem? Just do it on when it's the next person's turn. Yeah, the issue is they already got to do what they wanted to do on their turn. Like, that's the issue. It's not that, only their turn, you can't cast spells. It's the fact that the whole reason why they're casting that card is because they want to do stuff that you guys really can't interact with. And it's just, to me, it's so stupid and cheesy. It's like, come on, you can't make it uncounterable and then we can't cast stuff on your turn. Like, pick
Oh, no,
pick
they
a
can
lane.
and they did.
Yeah, actually, they can and they did. So, Dragon Lord Dromoka is one on mine. I'm just like, I see it every time. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hate this card.
No, I get that. I get that feeling. I don't have as big a hate for it because I play more blue and I have more of those things that are
Right.
counters. So at least I have my opportunity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get it because I've been there when I'm playing a deck has 2 or 3 of those and I don't have it in hand. Here it comes. Oh no.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a real feels bad in my opinion. So, Duncan, you can take the next one.
So next one I have, and people might be like, "What?" Basalt Monolith.
This one I am a little confused about, so I'd like your explanation on
So
it.
Basalt Monolith, it never comes out in a deck that's fair. It comes out in the deck where they're like, I make infinite mana. Ah!
Okay, so if that's your logic, 100% agree.
Yeah.
You will never see Basalt Monolith in a deck that cannot abuse the crap out of it and make infinite colorless mana.
Right.
You just will never see it.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. There are better cards. But if you want to make colorless mana infinitely, that's the way to go. So that's why I hate it, because anytime I see it, I'm like, I know what you're about to do, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't want to
I
watch
often
this.
have to counter that because I don't know what other piece. There's so many pieces that make it go infinite.
Right.
It's not like there's only 1 or 2. There's 1,000 ways to make that thing go.
Yeah, and the worst part about it too, in case you guys don't understand what it does, tap, add 3 colorless mana, pay 4, untap it, right?
Right.
The problem is if you let it hit and then you let their next thing hit, that's gonna. Okay, I go to destroy it. Great. In response, I create infinite mana. Like it's not like you can because again, it's a mana ability. You can't.
Right.
You can't stop it. They can do it as much as they want, and so that's the issue with it. And like you said, yeah, you have to. A lot of times, the only response is you got to burn a counter on it, which feels so bad.
Yeah, you're like, I don't want to have to do this to that stupid rock because I don't even know if you're going to hit your other piece.
Right.
But I can't risk
I
it.
can't.
either.
I can't risk it for the biscuit. But I will say, countering mana rocks does suck. However, unless you're
Unless it's
doing
a
it,
Soul Ring.
unless you're countering a Soul Ring, which
Soul
I
Ring
got to
feels
do
real
this
good.
weekend, which was hysterical.
Yeah. No,
I felt so
especially
good.
turn 1, man. If you can counter their turn 1 Soul Ring,
Oh man,
that is. I think you did turn 2.
I did turn 2, so
which is still very good.
Oh, it was really
The
good.
earlier
I
you
felt
can
so
do it,
good.
the better. But
It felt
feels
so good.
And I should point out, it's not that it feels good against new players or against guys.
Yeah,
it feels good against Andrew.
It feels good against people who know what
Andrew
they're doing.
feels good when he does it against me.
Right. I actually got it off against Andrew, and he laughed hysterically. He's like, "You're really gonna count?" I was like, "I'm not about to let you get 6 mana out on turn 2. I'm not doing this again," because literally the game before, by turn 2, he had 5 mana available. I'm like, "I'm not doing this again."
Well, between me, you, and Bryce, we had Andrew doing the emotional damage meme. You know what I mean?
He took
had
a beating.
a rough night.
Yeah. So I mean,
I
unfortunately,
think he won the game before that, though, which is why you were like, no.
Yeah, he did.
I'm
Oh,
not
yeah,
letting
he
you-
trounced
You're
us.
like this line and no further.
yeah, exactly. So, and unfortunately, I didn't win a game at all Saturday night, which kind of sucked. But I'm happy I got to play
But
Prosper.
anyway, we're getting off.
Yeah, we're getting off track.
But yeah, countering a rock, it feels bad as the use of a counter, unless it's Ulrich.
Right.
And it's Andrew. But it does, it's necessary because there's so many other ways. Like, yes, I know to do unwinding clock or one of the other things like that can cheat it. But not, I don't know what you might have some cheeky way I've not seen yet.
Right.
So just get rid of it now.
Yeah, they did just print new cards that one of them is activated abilities of artifacts cost 1 less or 2
Yeah.
less. So it's like, it's right there. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, there's another Salt Monolith one. So
Yeah.
they did do something like that recently. I can't remember. I think it was in Tarkir maybe. It was like a creature or an artifact or something that did it. And I was like, oh my gosh, we don't need more of these, please.
Yeah.
We don't need things that can equip stuff for free. Like, stop it.
Yeah. So that was my next one.
Yeah. So mine is one that they recently added to the Game Changers list, and thank God, but personally, I think it should be banned. Seaboard Muse. I don't understand how you can look me dead in the face and say, this isn't a problem. Stop it. Untap all permanents you control during each other player's untap step. If you look at me and say, you cast this on turn 5 when you have exactly 5 mana, which we all know is horse because this is in green, so they have at least 15 mana.
Yeah.
Just the mana alone, you don't have just 5 mana. You have 20 mana because you get to untap it every single turn. No one else gets to untap it every single turn. You do, which means you have 5 mana on my turn, 5 mana on Duncan's turn, 5 mana on the next person's turn, and then, oh, guess what? You have 5 mana on your turn. Like, this is ridiculous. You got 6 mana? Great, 6 mana on my turn. It's so stupid. And then it's also all your other permanents. So you put this in any deck that creates tokens that come in tapped. Yeah, don't care. My turn, your turn, great. They're all untapped now.
Yep.
Cool. This is awesome. This is so fun. This is the best part of the one thing that was slowing you down is no longer slowing you down.
I honestly treated this like a game changer before we knew what game changers were. I would deliberately not put it in decks where it would be very good.
Right.
Because I didn't want that deck to be broken.
And here's my second point against this. There is a card that's somewhat similar that is banned because people complain so much about it. Prophet of Kruphix, which is the same mana cost, 3 green and blue, so you have to commit to 2 colors, and it only untaps your creatures and lands, and then it gives only creature cards you control flash. And that's banned, and Seaboard Muse is not. That, to me, is the most aggravating part about it. How do you have that banned, which only untaps creatures and lands and only gives creatures flash?
The reason it's banned is because it's more easily broken than Seedborn.
Which, again, I get that, but my point is Seaborn untaps everything. Sure, you don't get flash, but there's only about, 100 other ways to get that.
Yeah.
Like Alchemist's Refuge, which we talked about last week. Vedalken Orrery, which we talked about last week.
I forgot, there's like an otter or a rat
Yeah.
they could put out in Bloomburrow that gives you everything flash.
Right, yeah.
It's a blue one.
Again, very easy to get there. It's like you saying that Seaboard Muse isn't a problem and then Prophet of Kruphix is ridiculous to me.
No, Prophet of Kruphix is more of a problem. I have seen it. However, Seaborn is right next door.
Right, that's my point. It's like you can't tell me they're completely, stop it. You're ridiculous. You're being silly. You're only saying that because you're the person who abuses the crap out of this and you think it's perfectly fine that green, which already has enough ramp to begin with, gets more ramp by being able to untap all their lands and do stupid shenanigans on everyone else's turn. Like, I don't know, Jeff's...
And Wilderness Reclamation is an enchantment, but at least it only does lands.
I mean, yeah, I'll give you that, but geez Louise, untapping your lands for free on everyone else, it's just...
even that one's a problem.
It's a problem.
Yeah, but this one going further and saying, no, just do
Just
all permanents.
everything.
Yeah.
Like, how can we make something worse? Simple. We'll just
Especially
make it do
because
everything.
It gets around things like stun.
Yeah.
It gets around the things that say things don't untap on their controller's upkeep.
Yeah.
Or untap.
Yeah.
Because it's not. It just is untapping.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I like thinking about this card just makes me so angry because every time I've seen someone play it, they always try to convince me it's not a problem. I'm going to be honest. Most of my cards on here that I hate are because people try convincing me it's not a problem. Like, that is the worst part about it. Just be honest. Just say, yeah, It's a problem. You should absolutely stop it because on your turn, I'm going to use all my mana to generate 50 more tokens. Then on his turn, because I have 50 extra tokens, I'm going to create 100 tokens. Then on his turn, I'm going to create 200 tokens. And on my turn, I'm going to murder everybody.
I have 4 letters that I believe is why you started hating this card. Not why you currently hate it, but why you started. Reese.
Oh gosh, Reese abuses the snot out of this card to a point
Double
of
my tokens, double my tokens, double my tokens.
yeah. It's
My
just
turn.
yeah,
Double
and
my
again,
tokens.
it's in green. Why are we giving green more stuff to do shenanigans with? Like stop. So if anything, I would hope this card eventually makes it to the ban list. I'm glad it's on Game Changers. Like thank
I
God.
don't think it will. I think Game Changers is as far as it's going to go. I think you're going to see less stuff on ban.
I don't know if they keep making all these stupid things that tap to create tokens. Like they have to eventually make this up like ban because they keep
or give
doing
it to
it.
other colors too. Make a colorless way to do it.
Yeah, or something because it's so silly.
Yeah.
It's just silly to me. So that's my next one.
Okay, so I'm not going to do my next one in order because, again, I think the next one I have after on my list is a little more, oh, yeah, we get it. But so I'll go to Brago. Brago. Oh, my word. There's no such thing as fair Brago.
Yeah. So there a little bit of this I think is my fault and Jeff's fault. When we first started playing EDH again, I had a Brago deck that I got. Bought.
Let's back up before that.
Yeah.
Because before you got that deck, I got to play that deck before you bought it from the guy who got out of Magic.
Right.
And it's a cool thing. Like,
Dude.
oh, look at this. I get to, like, just on exile
Flicker,
things.
flicker,
I come back
flicker,
in.
flicker,
Now they're doing
yeah.
their thing again. Now I got blockers again. Now I got mana again. It's like, but when you're on the other side, it feels different.
Yeah. Yeah. So
You got it right after. So it was fun when I got to play it. And that was the first deck I built was I tried to build that. But I built it fair.
yeah. So the problem is because of his ability, being able to flicker stuff. In case you don't know, in white and blue, there's a lot of stuff that ETBs and does disgusting things. And so what pretty much happens is with this deck, it is no one gets to play Magic unless I say so.
Right.
Is pretty much what it turns into. And I actually had a really high budget version of this deck, and I had to take it apart because I was like, I can't play. Like I feel bad playing this deck. Like
Yeah.
no one is enjoying this. Everyone
for the
hates it.
well, even you
even
wouldn't
me.
with
Like I stopped enjoying it. Like the first time I got to win with it, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. But then like the second or third time, it's not like a normal like CEDH kind of win. Like with Prosper, at least I felt like I earned it. There's a lot of stuff I'm doing and triggers I'm trying to chain
and
together.
To be fair, that deck was so mean. It had
Yeah.
Winter Orb in it.
Yeah, it had like blow up permanents when this enters the battlefield, so I could
It
blow
had
up
stasis.
lands.
It didn't have stasis because no, it did. I think
Static
that's-
orb. Yeah, oh yeah, it had all the
It
stuff.
had
So
all the stuff. Yeah.
So all my stuff, I would just flicker it all, so it'd all be untapped.
Yeah.
Everyone else's stuff, they couldn't untap anything. I'm blowing up lands.
Because
Like
I mean, for
it
those that
was-
haven't seen it in action, stasis doesn't let people untap, but it has cumulative upkeep that you have to pay an island,
right.
right, or a blue mana. Okay, why does Brago care? He untaps as an unlimited amount of permanents whenever he deals combat damage.
Yeah. So all non-land permanents he can flicker, and so basically all you do is you put all artifact mana in there, so you can just flicker them all.
Yeah.
And then you just you can pay the upkeep costs, and
Or
you
any old. I mean, as long as you have an arcane signet, you
Yeah.
have your blue mana, you need to pay the upkeep.
right. So
It's
it
not
was
cumulative; it's just upkeep.
yeah, just an upkeep cost of 1, and then Jeff tried to build a sub $25 version of it. Still just absolutely disgusting. Like you cannot build that deck in a way again properly where it's not just mean.
Yeah, it's just gross.
It is.
And then even in the 99 decks like a Minotaur, it's just like icing on the cake. It's like
Yeah, I tried building it's a soldier deck. It's a white blue Tatiana, I think, or Tatavina or something.
Tatiova.
Tatiova, maybe. I can't remember her name, but she's a white blue soldier, and she has the ability Detain, which is whenever it enters.
Oh, Lavinia.
Lavinia, that's what it is, Lavinia. So Lavinia has this Detain ability. I was like, I really love Detain. I wish that they would bring that mechanic. That's another conversation. But so basically, she has protection from red and Detain all non-land permanents with CMC 4 or less.
Right.
So basically, they all become tapped, and they do not untap until my next upkeep. So basically, what I would do is I would get Brago out, and I would flicker her on his attack trigger to detain. And even that, it was still like I just would basically no one would be able to untap except for lands. They wouldn't be able to untap anything.
Yeah.
You know, forcing him 0 or less, and that's a lot of stuff. That's
And
all
it
your
wasn't
rocks.
just that. You're also getting to do your untap your rocks. and
Yeah,
you're getting
it's
to-
just yeah, it was gross. And so it was one of those things where like it's such a sick commander. Like the ability is awesome. And then like as you start digging into it, seeing what you can do, like very quickly you realize, oh, this can just shut down games.
Yeah.
Like he
And
will
so again, this isn't one I think should be banned. I'm not coming. It should maybe it shouldn't even be a game changer. I think it should, but maybe not.
I mean, I can definitely see the argument for it.
Yeah, but I just hate seeing it. It's just like, oh, you're a bad person. Don't play that.
Yeah, I mean, it is
I'm
rough.
Speaking hyperbolically, I mean
It's rough,
fine.
man. It's
just yeah.
I will say, if you ever play against one, if you want to see how gross it is, let it hit the field one time and let them just have one turn with it. And then every game after that, you realize just counter it or destroy it immediately. They don't let anything happen. So
Unless you have one of those for each opponent, pick a permanent and destroy all their other non-land permanents.
Yeah.
You know? Then it's okay.
yeah, so yeah, it's gross for sure. But I get that one.
All right, what's your next one?
So Teferi's Protection. Again, I don't hate this card because I think it's ridiculous and it's broken and I think it's just too cheesy. I don't mind it. It's 2 and a white, so you have to hold back 3. Most counter spells are 2 or 3, except for if you're playing high power. We're not going to talk about those. But for the most part, you know, you can counter it, right? You can stop it. You're good to go. However, it's the people that play it that just think you can't touch me and then starts doing the hammer dance, like can't touch this. Like, no, stop. That's not how this works. Please stop doing that. It is annoying.
Yeah,
Stop saying
that doesn't do what you think it does on this very subject.
right, because people have this delusion of this card that I cast this, I am God. Like that's not how this works. Please stop. It's so annoying. The other thing is too, people just cast it and think you can't do anything. Counter spells exist. Just because you cast Teferi's Protection,
And they'll almost cast it and be like, all right, I'm going to go over there. You tell me what's my turn again.
yeah,
It's like, well, hold on.
like, oh my, it's so aggravating how people play this card. Like, that's why I hate it. I hate how people play it. I don't mind the card. I think the card's perfectly fine. I think it's honestly a very fair card. It even exiles itself, so you can't dig it back out of your graveyard.
Yeah.
Like, again, well-designed card. Just for the love of Moses, you are not invincible when you play this card. Please stop acting like it. It's annoying. No one likes it. You're doing it wrong. Just please play it right. Let people respond. It's so annoying.
I love, though, when somebody does something like, all right, everybody mill 20 cards, and the person, no, not me. No, you too.
No, your library's still here.
Yeah.
You are not invincible.
That's right.
So
That is one. Yeah, I get that one. So my next one, which I think more people are going to agree with, is Thassa's Oracle.
Yeah, I mean, I might. This might be our first. I don't think so.
What?
I don't.
So here's the thing. I have said Thassa's Oracle by itself is not a problem.
Right.
But I am tired of all the weak blue players. Because I play blue. Do you know how many decks I put Thassa's Oracle in? I think I have in one deck.
I know it's in your CDH one.
Yeah,
The blue one
that's
that
it.
you built. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I play a ton of blue decks. It's only in the one. It's not in my Jin Gataxias deck, which is one of my most powerful decks. That's not CEDH.
Yeah.
I cannot stand these weak blue players that's like, well, how else do you win with blue? I hate seeing it. Be original. Come up with something else. I'm so tired of Thassa's Oracle wins.
Oh man.
I want it banned simply because I'm tired of seeing it. Like, seriously. You know how Lizard wants to burn every Temple of the False God he sees? I want to burn every Thassa's Oracle I see.
Lizard's favorite land in the game, man.
When I go to MagicCon Vegas if I'm playing against you, please give me your Thassa's Oracle. I can't burn it in the building. We'll take it outside. We'll give it a funeral pyre that it deserves.
Do a Viking funeral and just shoot an arrow at it in a lake.
I don't know about that.
That's on fire.
And bow and arrow in Vegas, I don't think that's such a good idea. But I'm just saying, a lighter and a Thassa's Oracle, and I'll buy you a drink. We'll have a good time. I cannot stand it. I'm tired of seeing Thassa's Oracle wins. Come up with something else. Please be original.
I agree in the sense of yes, it is very much a cheesy win. It is a win that as soon as it came out, it was cool, and now it's kind of like, okay, this is now the 100 millionth time I'm seeing someone win this way or try to win this way.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing that's funny too is a lot of new players who do it as it's like their win condition.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
it's like-
That's all they have.
Yeah.
And if you counter it, they're like, okay, well, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm
Wait,
just gonna
what?
scoop. I don't know what I can do now. Like, what do you mean you're scoop? I countered one spell. Yeah, I don't have any other way to win. That was it.
Here's the thing. It's not even the mechanic. It's not the my card has no card. My library has no cards, and I win the game. That's fine. Do Jace and do
Lab Maniac.
Lab Maniac. Well, you can't. That's not a win. You need to have a do Enter the Infinite and do Jace. Do Enter the Infinite, do Lab Man and draw a card.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to win without a library.
I'm drawing a blank right now, but I play a card. I'm gonna have to look it up. It's an enchantment that says exile a card from the top of your library to prevent the next 1 damage that's dealt to you.
Yeah.
You can do that ahead of time. So you can do however many cards are in your library and then play Jace and go to draw a card and you win. That's fine. Get rid of Thassa's Oracle, though. Just get it out of there. Stop already. Enough is enough.
Oh man, that's good.
Be original.
Yeah, I get it. I for that point, I do understand what you're saying. I would agree. It is a little outplayed for sure. So my next one is kind of one that I feel like a lot of people, and again, this might just be because I play with higher power people, so I see this card a lot. I genuinely don't understand how this card is not on the Game Changers list.
So this is, you told me ahead of time. I got to tell you, this is one I don't agree with, but go ahead. Just
Burgeoning.
like you didn't agree with Thassa's Oracle.
1 green.
Burgeoning.
Enchantment. Whenever an opponent plays a land, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Not tapped. Not once a turn. Not once a round. Not once a turn. No. Whenever. So by turn 2, effectively, if you're playing this card in the correct deck, you could have 5 mana untapped. Furthermore, you can be casting spells that entire first turn because all your lands are coming in untapped because they do not need to be tapped, because we thought that was a great idea. Why? Again, why does green need more of this? They don't need help. They can get enough lands. They have all of the mana to go get all of the lands. Why give them this? For 1 mana. Why
I mean,
one?
it's been around a long time.
I
They gave it
understand
to
that.
him a long time ago.
I understand that. But 1 mana, like, for the love of Moses, it's a turn 1 drop, and without fail, even if you're playing the appropriate, what we consider the appropriate opening hand, which is 3 mana, something to do on turn 1, something to do on two, something to do on turn 3, and then 1 extra card. Even if that's your opening hand, you will be 2 lands ahead of anybody else, and more likely than not, if your extra card is an instant, you can probably cast it because your 2 other lands came in untapped. Like,
Yep.
It's so silly. If they came in tapped, wouldn't be as upset. Wouldn't be as aggravated. I get it. Okay, they're tapped,
So
at
there
least
you
you
go,
can't
Wizards.
use
Make a
them.
new version of this that costs like 3 mana and the lands come in tapped.
Something, for the love of Moses. I mean, 1 mana and they just come into play. And the thing is, too, here's the other thing that's aggravating. Oh, I'm going to play a fetch land. Great. Do it. Put 2 into play on your turn. I would love to put 2 lands into play on your turn also. Why? Again, why? Like, they don't need it. Green doesn't need it. Like, stop giving green help. If anything, you know what? Next set, no green cards. Just the other 4 colors. No green cards at all. Please. They don't need any more help. They've got enough of it. And I'm tired of green players always talking about how they need more mana. You have all of it. Like, just build a better deck. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you have all the manas.
Yeah.
Like, all of them.
Like every set comes out with like 2 new Lamb Ramp cards for green.
Right, for green. Yeah, it's ridiculous. You have all the manas. Like, you could build 99 cards of just pure go get manas. Like, because there's that many in green.
And here's the thing: whenever I'm building a deck that has green,
Right.
there is 1,000 cards besides the ones that put them in play. There's 1,000 cards that say, "Go get a land, put it in your hand."
Yeah, great.
And every time I'm building green, I'm like, why would I do that? And the answer to that question is burgeoning.
Right, exactly. That's the thing that's so annoying about it. Every card that you, like all the ramp spells that are going to get you 2 lands almost without fail puts one of them in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. You know what? Turn 2. I'm going to go get 2 lands. I'll put one in my hand. Great. You going to put a land down? Cool. I got a
And
land
heaven
too.
forbid that it has white in it too, and then you play land tax and burgeoning for over 2 mana every turn. You can go get, if anybody happens to get more mana than you can go
It's
get
just-
3 planes. Then around the horn, you can play those 3 planes.
Yeah, I just
I mean, you don't get to use the land ramp. The mana tax, land tax once in that.
But who
instance,
cares?
But who cares? You just turned 1 mana into 4.
Yeah, it's just so silly.
Yeah.
It's so silly to me that like there's just no like my frustration with a lot of these cards is there's just no downside to them.
Right.
1 mana comes into play every time someone plays a land. Just you get one.
Well, and the really mean thing I've seen with burgeoning is people will play burgeoning and then play land destruction. But it's the land destruction where they get to go get a land.
Right.
Like destroy any land, then they get to go, okay, destroy a land, you go get a land. Oh, I'll put one in.
Yeah. It's,
Destroy a land, go get a land. Oh, I put one in.
yeah. It's like so you're not netting anything, and they're netting one. It's
Yes.
so
They make you go get a land.
so stupid. Like I
And that
legitimately.
one with Tempt with Discovery, by the way. Tempt with Discovery that says you pay as many mana as you want and you go get that many lands.
Right.
And then they can all play as much mana. Now, even if they don't play anything, it's like you played 3. Well, so you go get your 3. They all each get 3. You can put 9 lands from your hand into play.
It's just, it's so silly. Like, I don't get why that's okay. Like, at the very least, Wizards, please make it a game changer. Please. It is so silly. So,
mean,
that's...
I don't agree with you, but I do feel
Like,
your trauma.
yeah,
Like I do
it's
know
like-
why you're there.
It's one of those things where you're sitting down, you're trying to play a casual game, someone drops it on turn 1, and then it goes to turn 2, and they're like, oh, I have my 10-drop commander out on turn 2. Cool. Like, this is fun. Like, great. It's just, it's the worst. I hate
So
it.
let's move on to the one that we both have that loving fire in our pit of our stomach.
I would have to say that if this is not most of people's number ones, I would be thoroughly surprised. Because this...
The ones who this isn't their number ones, I think they're the people that think Soul Ring is the number 1 most hated card.
Yeah, like they're people with very skewed ideologies, clearly.
So the card is Oko, Thief of Crowns.
I
do not play this because I hate this card so much.
legitimately hate
it's-
this card.
Thinking from somebody who, it's a very good card. Like,
Yeah.
it's a very good card.
Yeah.
I will not play it because it is just so disgusting.
Out of principle.
Yeah, out of principle. I hate this card. I don't want this card. I
Right.
wish they would ban this card.
It's so basically it's a planeswalker, 1 green and blue. So very quick to get out. Not you could have this out by turn 2. It's not difficult to get out by turn 2. 4 loyalty counters it comes out with. I'm gonna skip the main ability that everyone hates. So +2, create a food token. Not bad at all. Who cares? Get a food. -5, exchange control of target artifact or creature you control, and target creature and opponent controls with power 3 or less.
I mean, it's a -5. That's fair. You're probably going to trade your food you made, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's still like, whoa, that's pretty powerful, but it's fair.
+1. Target artifact or creature loses all abilities and becomes a green elk with base power and toughness 3/3. And if you're sitting there wondering why that's so bad, it doesn't destroy target artifact or creature. It just turns it into.
And it's not an enchantment that turns it into that you can remove the enchantment.
No. It
Like,
just
you can't peel that elk part off your commander.
it just now is.
Yeah. I mean, if you have Flicker, sure, you're lucky. If you're playing a Flicker deck,
Right.
you wouldn't hate it. But otherwise, there's no way to get rid of that without getting rid of
The permanent.
It's going to be your commander.
Right.
Let's
It's
just be
almost
honest.
without fail the commander because it is the and the thing that's most aggravating about this is that is a +1 ability. It's not a negative ability.
It should be a Mago.
It absolutely should be a negative ability. It should be -2 in my opinion because that is disgusting, especially coupled with the ult, which by the way, again, he comes in at 4. So he's only 1 away from the ult.
And because of him, they made a sorcery that does the same thing. So both those, but at least that's not repeatable. With him, they can do that every single round that it stays on board.
And again, not a negative. So they could go down to 1 with their ult and then just start plussing them back up with this. Why? Just why? Like, that's not okay.
Every time they do this, they make their planeswalker harder to kill. I mean, just think about it. Every time they do their best ability, they make themselves harder to kill. It's like, come on.
And I mean, legitimately, this card is so annoying. I will not try to kill it. I will just murder the person. If you're gonna play this in your deck, that only means that you have no boundaries.
In the game.
Yes, in the game. I will just, all of my effort for the rest of that game is going to killing you, because I don't want to see what else you have in your deck if you're playing this.
It's so gross.
Oh, it's such a
absolutely
stupid card.
my top hated card. It is
number
unfair. If I'm playing blue and I can counter it, I will try and counter it.
Right.
But
it's
got blue in it too, so guess what? They probably have a counter.
Right. Most of the time,
Or
people...
maybe they play Brago first. Or not Brago, Dramoka.
Dragon Lord Dramoka. I can't
They're
counter it
often
if I
in the
wanted
same
to.
deck.
Yeah, they are. I mean, it's one of those things where, because of the fact that it's such a low CMC, you can get it out so quick.
Yeah, it's 3, right?
It's 3. 1 green and blue. Again, easily can get it out by turn 2. Most people, if this is in their opening hand, they're keeping it in their opening hand because they can get it out by turn 2.
Right.
And then guess what happens the rest of the
They
game?
probably did it with burgeoning. That's what it is.
They probably do, because it's a green. I mean, it's one of those things where if they get this out on turn 2, unless you have a way to destroy it, no one's playing their commander. Nobody wants their commander to be targeted.
Let's look at take all the cards we've discussed, right? Let's
Right.
just spread them out on the table, right?
Right.
Let's look at them. Most of them are green or have to do with green.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you put the majority of them in there,
Yeah.
they're green. You could put most of these cards in the same deck.
Yeah.
All right. It's the same type of players playing all these cards. But what we have come to as Magic players, we have come to think it's okay that green is unfair.
Which is not okay.
It's
That's
not
all.
okay. Green is unfair.
It really
we need
is.
to get shirts made that say green is unfair.
Yeah, don't. I mean, it's silly the amount of love that green gets compared to every other color.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Like, blue and black have a lot of love to them too, but green is just
Way far away.
way, like, leaps and bounds in regards
Wait a
to the
minute.
things they
let's
get.
see. What color has the most ramp?
Green,
What color has the biggest creatures?
green,
Which color has the most trample?
green.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
It does the most stuff with 1/1 counters? Probably green.
Which one untaps your lands the most?
Green. It's just green is just it's ridiculous that it does everything. Like, pick a lane. All right, like, everyone knows how to pick a lane. Red has to be the worst color. They pick their lane. They're sticking to it.
Yeah.
White has to be the worst mono color right next to red. They picked their lane. They stuck to it. Green, pick a lane. You can't have all the things. All right. I'm tired of you having all the things.
Yep.
I'm gonna ban green. Just ban the color green. It's ridiculous. And the worst part is, I feel like people over at Wizards are like, you know what needs a little bit more help? Green.
Yeah. Well, I think they're like, you know what? Green seems to be the most popular color. We should probably make some cards for those people, right?
Yeah, it's so.
Maybe it's not because people play that the most because it's the most powerful color.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It is just rough, and I know for a fact that if Jeff were here, he'd be arguing against us, saying green's not that bad, blah 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 blah, blah, because he's a green lover. Green is in almost every deck he builds. It is. I've never seen his green is Duncan's blue. Like, it is uncanny how much green that man builds. And the thing that's funny too is, and and he has said this before, that he intentionally builds his decks in a way so he doesn't feel like they're breaking them. But the problem is because he does that, he skews his own vision of how bad things are.
He always defends it by saying, yeah, but I didn't do this, this, and this. Yeah, but you're still doing something very gross.
Right. It's his whole argument with Roaming Throne that we've had, where he's like, I don't understand why you think Roaming Throne's that bad. It's not really that bad. I was like, dude, your son literally played it in a pirate deck and stole everything. Like everything. Like, don't tell me it's if it can make a crappy tribal really good, like that's a strong card. And so that's one of those things where I feel like his vision might be slightly clouded because of the way he builds his deck. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. And that's what the whole game changers and brackets were supposed to do. They're supposed to help us have a clear identity and understanding of how to play casual better.
Maybe they'll make game changing colors.
Yeah, you can only have so many green cards.
I think blue will be right behind it.
Yeah, I think green and blue would be right there at the top competing, because everyone also says that blue is gross because of all the counter magic they have. Yeah. So which is fair.
But to make it fair, most of the counter spells they make today are garbage. They throw like one good one in every couple sets. One that costs 1 and 2 blue, and it does counter spell, and then you get some minor ability.
I feel like every 10 years they try to make a free one, and they realize we can't do free ones. Like, it just doesn't work. And then 10 years later, like, well, let's try again. Maybe we'll figure it out this time. Nope, still too strong. All right, well, we won't do it again. And like 10 years later, they do it again.
I do play some blue spells that haven't been put on the game changers. That's some blue counter spells. So
you only have
0.
You only have like 15,000 blue decks, so I hope you have some blue spells in our game changers list.
But let's move on. I think we've had enough hate. Let's have some tips. Let's have some good, helpful.
So I kind of wanted to stick on the copying spells theme because I realized when we were talking about it, there's a lot of stuff that involves copying spells. And so I wanted to bring up an example to kind of help people understand another thing that's very specific with copying a spell, which you kind of touched on, but we didn't go in. So we're also going to talk about that instance. So when you copy a spell, the difference between copying it and copying it and then copying and making a copy of it and then casting the copy is when you copy the spell, you get the spell as is. And this matters for a very specific reason. So in my Calamax deck, 1 green, blue, red, legendary creature, 4/4 elemental dinosaur. Whenever you cast your first instant spell each turn, if Calamax the Stormwise is tapped, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Whenever you copy an instant spell, put a 1/1 counter on him. We're going to talk about the first ability. The reason why this matters is because there are certain cards that I run and play in that deck specifically because when they're copied, they're like 10 times better. So for example, Unexpected Windfall. This is a card that me and Duncan like a lot. It's 2 and a red. Instant. As an additional cost to cast the spell, discard a card. Draw 2 cards and create 2 treasure tokens. This is something so many people always question me about when I do it, and I have to explain to them how it works. When you copy a spell, you do not have to redo the additional cost that was with that card. So in this case, I would not have to discard a second card. I am copying the spell as its entirety of being paid. So instead of me having to discard 2 cards, I still only discard the original one for the original spell, and then I get to draw 4 cards and create 4 treasure tokens. And in case all you kids out there doing math, that means this spell was free because I tapped 4 for it and I got 4 mana back. So I literally paid nothing for this spell. And that is important because Duncan said something last week, which is also very key to how his win happened, was he played Narset's Reversal on a overloaded Cyclonic Rift. Cyclonic Rift has 2 casting costs. The original, which is 1 and a blue, return target a permanent opponent controls to their hand, non-land permanent, opponent controls to their hand, or Overload, 6 in the blue, return all non-land permanents your opponent's controls to their hand. When he Narset Reversaled it, because he copied the spell, he copied the overloaded version, not the regular version. And that matters because when you do stuff like that, the wording and it's very specific in Magic, they have versions where they say you may make a copy of this spell and cast it without paying its mana cost. He would not have been able to do the overloaded for free. He would have only been able to do the single 1 in a blue version of it because overload is an additional casting cost, which you cannot do for free unless you have something that says otherwise.
Right.
So copying a spell if there was additional costs for said spell, you do not have to pay them again. Overload, discarding cards, sacrificing creatures, sacrificing lands. I mean, if you want an idea of how silly you can get with it, I have my Calamax deck posted up on Moxfield as well as Archidect. You can go look at all of the ridiculous spells I have in there.
I'll put the link in the description.
Yeah, so all the spells I have in there that you would look at it and say, wow, you have to discard a lot of cards. No, I don't. I only have to pay that cost one time, and I get all of the abilities from paying it one time.
Here's the thing. I play Omniscience in a lot of decks because I feel like it's fair. I don't cheat it. Like, I don't have a lot of ways to cast it for free. I have a couple. I don't have a lot. So I don't say I don't cheat it. I rarely cheat it. I feel it's fair because it costs a ton of mana. Like, that's my whole turn.
Yeah,
you
10
counter
drop.
turn like that. My turn's over.
Yeah.
You know, you don't counter it, the game's probably over.
Right.
But I need cards in my hand. But regardless, if there was a version of that was worded slightly different, you know, if it said exile a card for every card you exile from your hand.
Yeah.
With this, you can make a copy of it.
Right.
That's so much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of the additional cost things.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous. Like, copying can be better in a lot of instances.
Right. And so the big thing is when you're building something and you're trying to figure out, well, if I copy this, what happens? Remember, if there's ever an additional cost of any kind and you copy that spell as is, you never have to pay the additional cost for the copy. It sees it as it is. So it sees it as a fully paid spell.
Yep.
There's nothing else you have to do to it. So that's why a lot of copy decks, a lot of people, like Calamax, for example, a lot of people, he is a CDH deck. A lot of people are like, if you're busting out Calamax, this is probably going to be gross. My Calamax deck is pretty gross. I will say, I'll admit it. He is green, blue, red. I have a lot of silly shenanigans I do in there. And I think, side story, I think we had 72 copies of a spell in one turn that I did. And I did over like 500 damage split up amongst 3 players. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's what he does. Like, that's what he's supposed to do. So, So I just wanted to touch on that because that was something we kind of glazed over last week, and I thought it was important. And I realized a lot of people always question me when I'm playing. Even people who've been playing for a little while, they kind of forget that's how copying spells work.
Right. That's a good one. So kind of a continuation from last week.
Yep.
So that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching or listening.
Or watching
and listening.
We have a camera set up we keep looking at.
Yeah,
It'd be weird.
I said watching or listening, or watching and listening. Maybe they're doing both.
Yeah, maybe they didn't.
Don't have us on mute.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe they didn't mute us and just watched us moving around.
But if you want to keep watching us, hit that like and subscribe. You can always find us youtube.com/@commanderspod. You can look at our website, commanderspod.com. We have our audio versions up there. You can, if you would like to support us, patreon.com/commanderspod. We'd really appreciate it. Always trying to upgrade, always trying to do better. Your support helps us do that. We're planning some new things that we're going to be coming up to kind of sweeten the deal for our Patreon subscribers. So stay tuned for that. But we really appreciate you coming and watching us every week. And I just want to say, remember, play bold, swing wide, and don't forget to pay the one.
Commander's Pod, where the stories unfold with heroes